What's good, squad? It's the big homie, SB23, back at you with some more words of wisdom. Today we're going to talk about how to be the author of your story. Please like, share, and subscribe to the channel, SB23 on YouTube, Chosen123 on YouTube. You'll get these gems on both channels. I appreciate y'all for stopping by, interacting with the content, showing me love. It means a lot to me. I'm hoping you're having a good day, and I'm sending love out your way. So, how to be the author of your own story. First, you have to understand that you are the creator of your own universe. So, we live in a universe, but within the universe, there's multiple other small universes. Every person within themselves is our own universe. So, we are a central piece to our own world. We are the central piece to our own world, and there are revolving pieces around us that create the universe. Very similar to how the sun is the central piece to our universe, and then there's other objects that float around it that create that universe. So in order to be the author of your story, you have to first understand that you create your own reality. What does that mean? That means that whatever you think and feel is going to be reflected to you in your present reality. So wherever your emotions stand at and whatever thoughts you think become your reality. So it stands reason that if you can get control of your emotions and you can clear your thoughts, then you would be able to control your own reality, which therefore means you can become the author of your own story. The author of any story has the power to dictate how they want things to go by the thoughts that they manifest within their mind and then they put on paper, or they put on to a movie screen, or they put into music or art. What am I saying? I'm saying that you can be your own artist or author within your own universe. You get to paint the portrait. You get to pick the characters that you want to have around you. You get to decide what it is that the main character, which is you, is gonna do. It's not already predestined for you. You get to decide because you have choice. So once you understand that, then it kind of makes this reality not only much simpler, but it also can make it really fun and interesting, because now you know you have the freedom to decide, to choose to navigate in this world however you would like to, by just understanding that you just need to control your thoughts and to whatever area you want to focus them into. So, excuse me. If you want to be a doctor, you can be. And what would you need to do that? You would need to study to be a doctor. If you wanted to be a singer, you can be. What would you need to do? You would need to take singing classes in order to or have natural talent, but you would need to be doing singing in order for you to be considered a singer. You can be a CEO for a company if you really want to be. You would just have to take the steps in your story to walk down that path in order for you to be a CEO at whatever company. You really have infinite possibilities as to whatever it is you would like to do, because you have the choice to do so. There might be obstacles within the way that you need to overcome in order for you to get to wherever you want to get to within your story. But it can be done, because whatever you can think in your mind, you can create in this reality. So, and it might not be exactly how you feel like it's going to be, or it might not go exactly how you feel like it's going to go, but you do have the choice to make the decision, and then to take the steps to write your story in the way that you want to. In order to maintain being the author of your story, you also have to make sure that you're not letting other people's energies, thoughts, opinions dictate how your story is going to go, because it's not up to them, it's up to you, because you get to decide. This is your body. You are your own person. Again, you are your own verse within this universe and this existence that we live. You are your own system. Literally, your body is a system built to sustain and live within this environment that you are in, but you have a choice as to how you're going to work your system. So that's why it's important to not let the energies of other people dictate how you're gonna move and manipulate your energy. So being the author of your own story is very simple. You're the writer, you're the painter. It's your canvas. You can do and color it how you want to color it. You can, write it how you want to write it. Imagine it however you want to imagine it, and then take the steps toward it to make it be a reality. And it's just as simple as that. I think that we don't give enough credit to how much control we actually have in our lives. We feel like a lot of this stuff is out of our control, but it's really not. It's a lazy way of thinking, and it's also it's easier sometimes to say, oh, it just is what it is, when really, no, you have a choice. You have a choice in these things. You can either choose to write an interesting story, or you can choose to write a story that you later down in your life would wish you could revise, but you can't, because the one thing about this story that you're writing is you don't get to go back and revise it. You don't get to go back and change anything. You got one take. You know what I'm saying? This isn't like a movie set where you can do multiple takes and work that scene how you want to work it out, or work that movie or script how you want to do it. You got one shot. So that's why you have to make sure you're taking the opportunities and you're maximizing the time that you have to make your story be however you want it to be when it's all said and done, and you're not being taken over by how other people want to see you, and how other people want to see your story go, or how they want to, because a lot of people don't even want to see your story go. They want to see your story end completely. They want you to be not even they don't even want any reboots. You know what I mean? They don't want any part 2s, part 3s, part 4s. They want your story to end. So that's why you can't even put your time and energy into that to too many people's inputs on what it is you should be doing with your life, because again, it's your life, it's your world. You know what I'm saying? You gotta be the main character in your story and realize that you could live it however you want to live it. How do you want to see that motion picture be? You do it the way you want to do it, because you only got one time as far as in this vessel that you're in right now. You might have another shot if you get reincarnated, but who's to say that you're gonna take any of these memories with you? So at the end of the day, that's a deeper topic for a different day. But at the end of the day, if we're talking about right now, in this situation we're in now, where you wake up in this vessel that you got, you want to make the best of it. You don't want to take it for granted. You want to make the best of it. You want to take advantage of every day, and enjoy it. You know, enjoy it, live it to the fullest. Do the things that you like to do that make you feel good, instead of worrying about the things that you can't see or that are no longer even within your life anymore, that don't make you feel good. You know, focus on the stuff that makes you feel good, and then go after the dreams that you would like to accomplish, whether they be big or small. You know, nobody, it doesn't matter what size dreams you have. It just matters that you're going after them, and that you get to taste a little piece of it, even if you don't get it, even if it don't hit how you thought it was gonna hit. Just by going after it, you're gonna taste some of it. You know, there's some people who wanted to play in the NBA, and maybe they didn't have the raw physical skills and abilities and talent to make it to the NBA, but they end up still catching a job in like ESPN or on a sports team or something like that. So they're still getting to do what they love, which is basketball, but they're just doing it in a different way. And that's the way you got to think. You know, not everything's gonna pan out exactly how you want it to pan out, but that doesn't mean that you can't still reach your goal. You know, at the end of the day, and that's one example. You know, sometimes you shoot for the stars and you might not reach the stars, but you reach really close. So that means that you still attained the goal, because you, in some sort of way, you still hit the mark, even if you didn't hit it exactly how you felt like you were going to. You still shot all the way up there, close, so close that you can see it and touch it, and have some sort of story to come from with that. You know, instead of looking back on it and wishing that you would have put more in so your story turned out different. So that's all I'm saying. You know, you want to make sure that you're sticking to being the main character in your story. You got things that you want to do, and you know, things that you want to see play out. And if you control your emotions and you clear out your thought space, and get focused while also enjoying life and not taking things too seriously, then doors will open, and you can paint your own portrait, you know, however you want it to look, and just come away from that with appreciation for your life, instead of bitterness down the road that you didn't move in a certain way that you would have liked to, you know. So, and then even with like that, even let's say if you got a story going right now and your story ain't going the way that you wanted to go, again, you have control over that, so you can rewrite that story. You can't revise it, you can't go back and rewrite it, but you can change the trajectory of the story, because again, you're in control. So now this is what's been going on, but you can make a decision. Okay, from this point forward, I'm not gonna allow this to go on anymore in my story. I'm gonna write a different story. So with this next chapter of my life, I'm gonna walk in a different energy, and I'm gonna do things in a different way. I'm not gonna do them in the same ways that I've been doing it to get that same result that I don't want anymore. Because you know, it was cool for a few chapters here in my life, but now it's getting old. I need a different change. I need, you know, I want to elevate my character in some sort of way. So then you make that decision, and then you stick with it, and then you start to write a different script. So yeah, you're going through your life, maybe you did things that you weren't proud of, you know. Like I always say, my advice is always, if you did something you wasn't proud of, go ahead and apologize to whoever it was. It takes nothing to give an apology. A lot of people get scared with apologizing because what if you get rejected? What if that person rejects you? Or what if that person throws something in your face that you did to them? And it's like, at the end of the day, if you did that to them, then you should let them get it off the chest if that's where they're at with it. But oftentimes, a lot of people ain't even really there with it anymore. You know, a simple apology, I'm sorry, a genuine I'm sorry, goes a long way. And then, like I said, when you back that too with different actions, then oftentimes people don't even need to say anything. They just want to know that you feel sorry about it, and then see that you aren't going to continue to move that way. That's really what it is at the end of the day. But you know, sometimes people fear confrontation, or they think that there's going to be a confrontation where there really isn't going to be, when simply it would be an understanding. Because you never know, that person might already have came to terms with it, and they already recognize why you did what you did and not even tripping about it no more. So yeah, that's how you can rewrite your story in that way too. Let's say if you're on a bad footing, you know what I mean? You can rewrite that story because you're in control. So you can just simply say, you know what? I'm not about to keep being like this no more. I did it. You know what I'm saying? And that's where I come from when I'm saying this stuff. I'm coming from a place of being there. I did it. I made a decision that I made two decisions. One, that I wasn't going to spread negativity no matter what nobody did to me. I wasn't going to stoop to a certain level anymore. And then two, that I wanted to be happy over everything because I'm getting older and I want to enjoy the rest of the time I have on this planet. I want to enjoy it. I don't want to be harboring any ill will or ill intent towards anybody for any reason. So it's like, I don't care what happened in the past. It doesn't matter to me what happened. I'm not even tripping off it no more because even just holding that energy within me is bringing me down, and now it's messing up my story because now my story ain't going the way I want it to go because I got all this stuff that I'm holding and harboring when it's easier just to let it go, let bygones be bygones, forgive, and then choose to be happy. So now I do things that make me happy. You know what I'm saying? I don't partake in things that bring down my vibration. With my story, I want my story to be, it started off a little rough, yeah, but for the first 38 years or whatever, but from year 39 and on, it was amazing. You know what I'm saying? So, and that's the way I'm looking at it. So I was like, I don't even be tripping off of stuff. If I had any type of beef with anybody, I'm not even tripping about it no more. If anything, I would rather us come together and figure out a way we can make it easier for everybody's life. You know what I'm saying? So we can all enjoy life and just have a good time. That's where I'm at with it. I'm not even tripping about nothing. So, you know what I'm saying? Write your own story. How do you want it to go? Do you want to be sad or do you want to be happy? Do you want to be depressed or do you want to be happy? Do you want it to be anxious or do you want to feel joy? And I know people are gonna say, well, you're making it seem like it's so easy, but it really is easy. It's a decision. Once you make the decision, I'm not saying there's no work behind being happy and maintaining happiness. I'm not saying that you don't dip sometimes, because we're all human. But what am I saying is you can choose to be on a higher vibration for the majority of the time of your life instead of making excuses as to why you are sitting in a low vibration for the majority of the time and attracting negativity. All it takes for you to do is decide, I don't want to feel like this anymore, and then decide what steps you need to take from that point in order for you to not feel that way. So then you can write a better story for yourself because you are the author. And that was the point of this video. You have control over your situation. You have control over your story. So how do you want to live your life? You make the decision, and then therefore you write your story. But you can't blame anybody else for the way that you're letting your story be written, because you decide whether even if somebody's doing something to you, if you're letting them do it repeatedly, you're deciding and choosing to let that happen. You can't blame them. After a point, you can't blame them. You can blame them up front, but if you keep letting it happen, you can't blame them after that because you're deciding to let it happen. And you have a choice to write your story in a different way. So which way do you want to write it? You want to write it in a good way, or do you want to write your story to where it ends, and while you're writing your story that it was blissful, and by the time you come to the end of the story, you know, you left it all on the table so there was no regrets. But all right, y'all, it's the big homie. I'm holla.